This will be the audio lecture at the beginning on personality. I'll break it up into several pieces so they're not such long videos. I want to draw your attention to the assignment and the discussion that's linked in your personality link. You're asked to go to this website, similarminds.com. I rarely have had a problem with it. I've used it frequently. I believe it's a very safe website. At the very top, you'll click on personality tests, then click again on personality tests. Be careful, there's a banner ad up there that changes. Don't be fooled, drop down under the banner ad, click personality tests, and then once again, and then scroll down on the left column. There'll be two columns of tests. On the left column, scroll down, move almost halfway, and you'll see Big 5, and I recommend you take the short test. It won't take more than 10 minutes. Make sure you submit and get your responses. Be careful of the judgmental attitude of the website. People in their pat description of personality, don't take offense to it. They don't get to choose whether you're too much this way or overly that way. You do, but it is instructive. What is personality? The word personality comes from the word persona, which literally means mask. So when we think of personality, think of it as a mask that you put on to get you through the day. Your personality is the way that over time you have determined your life works best in your interactions with others, in your interactions at work and school, with schoolwork. It's the way you approach life to earn the most rewards and avoid the most punishment. That's a behavioral perspective. And it comes from very, very deep core ideas that we have about ourselves and about others and about life within us. Just as a mask, I can take it off and put it back on. There's the self that I choose to display, my personality mask that I use in public. And that mask is different when I'm with friends, and it's different when I'm in front of a classroom, and it's different when I'm at church. That's the nature of the beast. It doesn't make us hypocrites. It means that I've learned how to get along with my friends in a different way than I've learned to get along with my classes, with my students. There's overlap, of course, but there are some different components that we choose. There's also a self beneath all the masks that I don't choose to share with others. We all have that. There's the self that I hide. That's part of my entire personality makeup as well. So the sum total of all of your masks, plus the real that's not a mask, the person that your closest, dearest friends, and maybe your spouse, or at least you know yourself to be, all of that sum total is your personality. Another thing about personality is that it tends to be consistent. Unless we're very, very erratic individuals with personality disorders, we tend to have a consistent set of coping skills that we use across a variety of situations. This is the fancy definition. My personality is an organized and dynamic, changing over time, set of characteristics that influences my thoughts, emotions, motivations, and behaviors. This word here, characteristics. Characteristics. Am I friendly? Am I outgoing? Am I shy? Am I reserved? Am I angry and hostile? Those are individual characteristics. Am I flirtatious? You could go on and on. There are thousands of words that we use to identify individual characteristics within our personality. 5 basic important ideas about personality. Number 1, we're all the same. In some ways, because of human nature, we are all the same in some of our needs. I need oxygen, and I know what it feels like to be without oxygen. That's a common shared human perception. I need safety and security, and I know that all other human beings desire safety and security. Their way of getting it and their definition of those things is different, but at the very core that I know that the motivation of people is to gain a sense of security, safety, and respect from others. Now, we were all brought up in different environments, in different cultures, in different racial groups. Our parents parented us in different ways, taught us different lessons. We have different religious beliefs, so on and so forth. And so those are the things that start to stack on in our personality that I need to learn about an individual before I can really categorize and understand who they are. Because although there are some human similarities, they've been tweaked over time, making us different. And of course, we're all unique. No two people are identical. We're like snowflakes, and each one being different from another. Some melt easier. We all have individual differences. Even twins raised in the same household have significant individual differences. I already mentioned this. My personality varies across social situations. You're a very different person when you're sitting in class on a Monday morning when you get to go to class, and when you're with your friends on Friday night. You're wearing a different mask. And this is fundamental to just how we view life. There are some people who believe that my personality was basically set for me at birth and throughout the first few years of my life. That's called psychic determinism, not psychic as in ESP or mind reading, but psychic in my psychology, that it is set in stone the way I'm going to be, and that implies that it doesn't change, or doesn't change without a whole lot of effort. Free will, on the other hand, says just what it sounds like. If I identify a personality characteristic that I don't like so much, then I'm capable of changing it. I didn't like that. I felt nervous every time I went in front of a classroom or in front of an audience, and I decided to change that aspect, and worked and modeled and practiced, and now I can get up in front of a classroom with very little anxiety. I can get up in front of an audience with my anxiety in tow, but I chose to make changes because, I wanted to work at Howard College. That's the first part. Anyway, you have those same aspects of yourself and the same capacity. In my perception, free will is a much stronger determining factor than psychic determinism. Pictorially, we are each born with the building blocks of personality. You do come equipped with some traits and tendencies that will be shaped and stacked and molded just as, so we think of at birth, we're born with the basic building blocks of our personality. That's called temperament. Infants have different temperaments. Some are fussy, some are calm. Some are easily aroused to anger. Some seem to enjoy life much more. Those are building blocks. So my biology plus the nurturing that I receive. The nurturing is the stacking of those building blocks. If I receive love, then more and more of those building blocks are stacked in a way that allows me to expect and give love. Nurturing plus other life experiences. Nurturing is a life experience, but it's so pivotal and important that it gets a separate mention, that it's pivotal in the stacking of those early temperamental building blocks. And then life experiences, early losses, early joys, changes, moves, friends, teachers, all of those people I experience, and they help stack the building blocks. So eventually I have some form of stable personality, still made of blocks. They're not glued together, so they can change and they can be rattled and shook over time. But eventually, around 5, 6, 7, my true personality begins to emerge. It's going to be shaped over the course of my life. And then what happens within humanity is the curtain gets drawn over a large section of that personality. There are components of my nature that I don't know, that are unconscious to me until someone calls them forth, points them out. That's what therapy is about, counseling. Very often the person enters into the counseling office and they don't know that they're asking for it, but what they're really asking is pull the curtain back a little bit and let me see what's really under there, what's really driving me to behave in certain ways that I do. And then my personality has two major functions. One, it helps me interpret reality. How should I behave in this situation? Which personality characteristics do I bring to bear? Niceness, hostility, patience, withdrawal, to deal with this particular set of realistic circumstances, being with my friends, being in front of my boss. As you know, my thoughts bring forth my emotions. My emotions signal and bring forth motivation, and that leads to behavior. And then the other thing that personality does for me is it helps me to be categorized by others into different groups. We do this all the time. It's not bias. It's not necessarily even a negative aspect of prejudice, but we do prejudge people based on a very quick reading of their personality. There are people that I'm going to run into that I just get a bad feel for. I'm reading their personality characteristics, usually in body language, voice tone, facial expressions. And so I pretty quickly categorize people into people I want to get to know better, people I don't have much time for, and people that I might really grow to love. It's my personality that I'm running my perceptions through to build those interpretations. Okay, just a couple examples. I won't go into those. Which of these two people here, this corner or this corner, would you rather run into when they're stopped at a stoplight? How are they going to behave if these are their personality characteristics? And how would that go better for you if you could choose her car or his car? Unfortunately, I'd probably choose this guy because he's going to jump out of the car and he's going to say, "Hey, you all right? Man, I had an accident last time. Let's call the police. Let's call our insurance companies. No harm, no foul. If everybody's okay."